Hello everyone, this is Sanket and this is the second part of the tutorial series which we have started. So the first part was I described in that first part that how to set up the AR foundation in Unity using the package manager. So this is the second part. As you can see, this is the same project. If you haven't seen the first part, then I can put the uh, link to that video in the description. You can go ahead and watch that video first. So yeah, so in this video what we will be doing is this is the script which we have attached to AR session origin, so that it will scan the surface and place this cube when you tap on the plane. So this is the cube. This we have already done in the first part. We can if you have not watched that video, you can go ahead and watch that video first. So in this video I'll be setting up a guide thing, so that before the user plays the AR object, this guide thing will came when you scan the surface, and it will there will be a text kind of tab here or something, so that user will know that yeah, after scanning the surface I have to tap at that place to place this object. So this is what we will be doing in this video. We will set up a guide, a kind of guide thing which will showing tab here above it, and when the user tap on that place, then the actual 3D object which we wanted to place in the AR object will come at that particular place. So let's open this script in Visual Studio. So yeah, this is the script. So we need two things. One is the AR object which we wanted to place, and another is the guide object which we wanted to show when the user scan the surface. So let's create a new game object for that guide. Let's name it guide prefab. Okay, so we don't want to instantiate these objects. Actually we want these objects to be already there, but we want these objects to be set active true and set active false. So it will be already there in the vertical inspector on the hierarchy here. So let me describe you again. So here what I am doing is this game object is instantiated now in the place on plane script. I don't want to instantiate this object. I want this to be here in the hierarchy, but it will be deactivated. So as you can see it here, so this is our cube which will be placed after tapping on the plane. So I don't want to instantiate it. I want to be in the hierarchy, but I want this to be deactive, because first we will scan the surface, then the prefab, the guide prefab will come, then when I tap on the guide prefab, this cube will come. So this cube will be first deactivated. Okay, so I don't want this line of code, so I deleted it. So this is the guide prefab. Okay, so I want this guide prefab to come when it this is taking the touch position. Touch position is when you touch on the mobile screen. So it is getting the touch position, and it is placing that object at that touch position. But what I wanted to do is I wanted to cast a ray from the middle of our mobile screen. So it will always be from it will always cast a ray from the middle of our screen, and when it hits the plane, after plane detection the plane will come, right? So when it detects, when the ray hits the plane, the guide prefab should be get active, and it should be means the position of the guide prefab should be same as the ray which we are casting the ray from the middle of the screen. So yeah, so let's do that. New vector 2. Middle of the screen means we have to the height should be height divided by 2 and width divided by 2. That is the middle of the screen. So let's do that. Screen dot width divided by 2 and This is the middle of the screen. So we want this guide prefab to be at the middle of the screen when it hits the plane. So let's activate it first and set its position. So we take the transform position of guide prefab and set it to the hit position wherever it hits the plane. So now guide thing is completed. Now we don't have to worry about guide. So let's make the guide thing first in Unity. For now I'm just creating a cube. You can make it any a cube, a sphere, or a kind of a what can I say, a sprite or anything you can create. But now for now I'm creating the cube only. This is 0.5, so let's make it 0.3, and inside this I'll make a canvas and text. Let's make it wall space. Camera is our AR camera. We don't need that actually. If you are using some button or something, then you need that, otherwise you don't really need that thing. Let's make it small so that you can see that. Okay, where is the text? Oh, it's inside. Let's make it a bit big. And let's write tab here. You can do all those kinds of animation, anything that you wanted to add it here. So for now I'm just making it very simple to understand. So this is your tab here. Let's make it big. Okay. I think 40 will be fine, or 50. Let's make it 50. Yeah, this is fine. So this is our guide prefab. Let's name it guide only. And this is our AR object. AR object. Okay. Both of the things should be deactive in the hierarchy. And let's assign this here. This is guide. Okay. And this is place prefab. Only the hierarchy, we don't need this actually. Let's unpack the prefab and delete it from here in the prefab section. Okay, so both of the objects are deactivated in the hierarchy, and I assign both of those objects in the place and plane, the inspector. Let's go here. So now this what this code will do is the whole code from here. Let me describe once again. So it will cast the ray from the middle of the screen of your mobile, and it checks if it hits the plane. Then it will then it will activate the guide prefab and set its position to the exact position wherever the ray is hitting in the plane. Always means I'll show you that after building the application so that you can understand very easily. So this is it. The code is this. So now what I wanted to do, let's make a new function here. Call it place object, place AR object. Now this guide thing is placed and it is always changing the position to the hit position in the plane. So now what we wanted to do, we wanted to tap on this guide prefab to place our actual AR object. So we have to again make a ray cast and then checks if it is hitting the guide prefab, then place the actual AR object. So let's do that. So here what I'm doing is I'm making a ray from the camera to the mouse position wherever is the mouse position, and then I'm checking this using the ray and hit, and if it hits this object, this guide object, then let's activate our prefab, the AR object which we wanted to place in the plane. Let's make it activate first, then let's make the position same as the guide prefab position. Right, the guide prefab is going here and there wherever the this raycast hits the plane. So let's take the position of this guide prefab and make our actual AR object's position there. And now we don't need the guide prefab, so deactivate the guide prefab. The object is already placed, so we don't need the guide prefab. So this is actually just letting knowing the user should know that what should he have to do. So I'm making this guide prefab. This is why the guide thing I'm setting up. So yeah, this is it. So now we have to call this. Yeah, and one more thing we have to do is we have to, once the place prefab is the AR object is placed, we don't need to do all these things. So what we can do is we can create a new boolean variable here. Let's create it here. Yeah. Boolean placed equal to true. Sorry, let's make it false. It is not placed yet. So yeah. So here we can make it true. It is placed now. And here let's check if it is placed, then return. I don't want to do anything if it is already placed, otherwise do this and call this function. So first it will check. Oh, what happened? Okay, hold on. Let's copy this and paste it here. Yeah, so if it is placed, if it is the object is already placed, then it will not continue. If it is not placed, then it will first cast the ray from the middle of your mobile screen, then the guide prefab will come, then the user will know, yeah, this is the place where I have to tap. Then it will tap here. So if it tap on that guide prefab, this thing will execute. So yeah, so the actual AR object will get activated, and it will be the it will take the position of guide prefab and set its position to there, and then deactivate the guide prefab. Then it will make the place to true so that these things will not execute again. Okay, let's save it and go back to Unity. So we have already assigned these two things. Okay, that's it. Let's check the guide prefab again. Okay, it is saying tap here. Yeah, that's it. This is all this is how you can set up the guide thing in your AR foundation, or in AR core also you can set it, but you have to just some part of the script I think you have to change, otherwise it is almost same. So this is how you can set up the a guide in your AR application to let the user know that yeah, this is where you have to tap to place the AR object. Yeah, so this is it about the video. So the next video that I will be making is how you can select. Okay, one more thing which I wanted to tell you here is before selecting and doing everything in the AR, so the next tutorial will be how to activate and deactivate your plane. So you scan the plane, right? Then the plane will come. So there the next video will be regarding that how you can deactivate the plane, all those planes which are coming. So sometimes it like you place some object in the AR world and the plane is also detecting at the same time, but you don't want those things. So you can, so that the yeah, so the next video I'll be making is you can stop the plane detection or toggle the plane detection. That kind of things I'll be describing in the next video. So yeah, this is it.